Good morning, everybody. Out here for the morning walk. Got Fancy with me. It's a little dark. You can tell the moon's still up. Might have to start thinking once it stops being hot, doing stuff in the evening. Today, I thought we would talk about what a wild ride we are in for. So Vladimir Lenin was once attributed with saying, decades can pass with nothing happening, and weeks can pass with decades happening. Now, I know some douchebag commie's going to get on here and go, Lenin never said that. That's okay. I said attributed to. So even if he didn't, we'll pretend he did. Okay, what he means is, long periods of time can pass with nothing ground shaking happening, and then in a matter of weeks the world can completely change. And by any measure, the last 4 or so weeks have been a tumultuous time, with the debate and all the media pundits and politicians and Dems suddenly realizing that Joe Biden's not quite all there, to an attempted assassination against former President Trump that still leaves a lot of questions to be answered, to what happened this last weekend with Joe Biden bowing out of the campaign. That does not bode well, right? Right now, Kamala Harris is the presumptive frontrunner just because she's in the VP slot, and the convention hasn't happened yet. In fact, I have not checked this out, but somebody told me that by last night they had already changed the BidenHarris.com website to Kamala HQ. So I don't know, when I get home and I get a chance, I'm going to check that out and see if that's true. But it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me in the least bit, because she's that type of person. And I'm going to say this. She's probably the worst type of politician there is. Even worse than Joe Biden. Joe Biden, he's never been very smart. You go back and look, he's very politically savvy, but he's not very smart. Intelligent, let's say intelligent instead of smart. But he's always been motivated by nothing more than money. That's why he grifted with China. He's got all the business ties with China and being the big guy and all that. Kamala Harris is a different type of animal. And I'll tell you how she's different. She wants power. She's one of those women that wants power and is willing to do anything to attain it and keep it. I mean, she's the OnlyFans president. She was selling her body for money and power long before any of these OnlyFans tots have been thinking about it. But she's the type of person that would leave a man that's innocent on death row just so she wouldn't look bad. It was so bad that the Supreme Court had to step in and save the guy, because she wouldn't take him off death row despite evidence proving that he was innocent. Well, proving that he didn't deserve death row, let's put it that way. But that's the type of person she is. Can you imagine somebody like that being in charge of the country? It'd be like Hillary 2.0. Seriously. Because Hillary Clinton's the same type of person. She'll do anything for power. And, well, kind of like Kamala Harris, she kind of slept with somebody to get there, didn't she? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, but we saw a true coup this last weekend. The Democrats pretended that Joe Biden was all there for 3 years, 3.5 years. And then the debate happened. And it became obvious. became obvious that Biden was not all there. But the polls really didn't hurt him that bad. Then, attempted assassination against President Trump. Then all of a sudden, when the polls start looking bad, it's time for Joe Biden to leave. Now, it's almost as though they knew about his cognitive decline and they were waiting for something to happen. Now, I'm not saying they were waiting for something to happen. It just seems like that. But then Biden, and I'm going to say it was probably more Dr. Jill Biden than Joe Biden, but he wasn't going to get out of the race. He said it multiple times. And every time he would start, or the heat for him to get out would start dying down, Nancy Pelosi, or one of her surrogates, most notably Adam Schiff, would come out and bring the conversation back up and bring the idea back up. And they kept stirring the pot over the last 3 or 4 weeks. And then there's the curious nature of how his dropping out of the race was announced. You know, Lyndon Baines Johnson, when he dropped out of the race, or he said he wasn't going to run again, gave a live speech and announced it to the people. News accounts say that Joe Biden's staff didn't know until minutes before it was announced what was happening. And his communications director or his chief of staff, one of the two, is the one that delivered the letter that he supposedly signed to drop out of the race. We haven't seen him live. We didn't see a photo of the historic event. He didn't go on live TV to announce it and tell the people. He said he would say something later on this week. You know? And then there's the question of the signature. And I'm not saying that this proves anything. I'm just saying it's very curious to me that the signature on that letter dropping out is different than the signature that he used on the last 4 or 5 EOs, executive orders that he signed. Now, I'm not a forensics expert. I'm not saying that proves anything, because Lord knows my signature doesn't match all the time. But I'm just saying that it's in this case it raises questions. You know, and it may be a deep fake that I saw. It may be a deep fake. I don't know. But it does raise some questions. You know, but we're in for a wild ride, because the DNC convention is coming up, and they're not going to listen to the will of the people. You know, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris ticket got 14 million votes in the primaries. And those votes don't matter. They're going to select somebody to take over the reins of the campaign and be their candidate, and the rest of y'all be damned. You know, and you would think, you know, the Bernie Bros had to take a great big bite of that sandwich when they served it up in 2016, when they cheated Bernie Sanders out of his nomination, because the DNC's got the super delegates and a way to get around the will of people. Much like the Dems. You know, the Dems in general just do a lot of stuff to get around the will of people. You know, I guess it's because they know better than we do. But anyway, you know, so we're gonna get stuck with somebody. Personally, I think it's gonna be Big Mike. He's gonna get nominated, and even though he doesn't want to do it, he'll step up and do it for the good of the country, because he's willing to sacrifice. Yeah, and that'll give us a 4th term of Obama, right? And probably choose Gavin Newsom as a VP, because he's slick, and the smooth-brained People magazine readers groove on stuff like that, groove on people like him because he looks good. You know, it doesn't matter that he's destroyed California. You know, 10 years ago, the last time we were in California, it was not the same California that we lived in when I was in the Marine Corps and when Angela and I met. But they'll get somebody like him. Maybe Gretchen Whitmer. I don't know. You know, they need somebody that can be a tyrant as VPs, and she fits the bill too. There's a cast of other characters that they could choose from, but those are the three names that come to mind the most, or the quickest. You know, but they have to do something, because none of these people can run on a record of success. None of these people can run with any shred of truthfulness in their campaign, saying how they've done good for their state or their country. So they're going to have to do something, and that something is probably not one but multiple black swan events headed our way. And if you don't know what a black swan event is, it's an event that nobody is prepared for it to happen. And chances are there's going to be one or two of them, just so that they can scare people into voting the way they want them to. Yeah, and I hate being a black pill. Seriously, I hate having to talk like this and talk about this topic. I seriously, Fancy's on the smell. Seriously, I wish I could come out here and talk about fun stuff and stuff that really doesn't matter, you know, stuff that's lighthearted. But the fact is, those aren't the times we live in. We've got decades happening within weeks, you know. And again, we get towards the end of the walk, and we reach the point where I got to remind everybody, you know, the only way we can insulate ourselves is by preparing, building community, becoming food independent, get modernly self-reliant, and start starving the beast if you already haven't. You know, that's the only way we can insulate ourselves from all the stuff that's going to happen. You know, and I hate to put this out there, but you know, there could come a point in time where we can't have these conversations. You know, and not because of censorship, just because the infrastructure isn't there. You know, I'm relying on Starlink for my internet. I'm relying on my phone to get these videos made. And it may come a time when they're not there. So we need to start preparing now and getting ready and doing the things that we need to do, so that if or when the time comes, we're not caught flat-footed. All right, listen, guys. I still owe you a video on our new affiliate. I've been working on it. I've started it twice and had to stop because of other things. But I will get one out this week, I promise. And if you want to support us financially, you can go use the affiliate links down below, and the new affiliate link is down there. But you can use that to save some money, get some stuff to make you modernly self-reliant. You know, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. You might want to check your subscription too, because I've had a couple times I've gone to channels that I know I'm subscribed to that I've been magically unsubscribed. So you might want to check. You know, give us a thumbs up, like, sharing, and get the message out to other people. Most importantly, like I always say, man, it's the most important thing. This is all intentional. Everything we do is intentional. And so we need to go out today and intentionally live a life done free. All right, guys, take care. Thanks, Milo.